Let's talk about today's game. Sanju Samson, his first game as captain. Michael, excited about that move? They've had a bit up and down with the captain, with Steve Smith, Ajinkya, mid-season changes. You're never happy when all of that is happening. And it's not like they've had. See, you could say that they've had a lot of captains, but then you've got Punjab on the other side who they're playing, right? Who've had, I think, one captain per half season. But there you go. There's Shane Warne, 55 games. And otherwise, they give a decent run. They're giving an average kind of 2-season run, that they gave to Smith and Watson, almost a 3-season run to Dravid, Ajinkya Rahane getting a 2-season run as well. You'd like to see them stick with Sanju Samson now, the way some of the other teams have stuck with their captains. Mainly, the 3 marquee names, Bangalore, Mumbai and Chennai.
Yeah, I mean, generally consistency works, but you only get a consistent captain when your team wins. The Rajasthan Royals over the last few years have been poor. They won it back in 2008 under Shane Warne's leadership. They haven't made the finals since. They've made a couple of qualifiers, I think, but they really have been disappointing. They've just not quite got their team playing as a team. You go back to 2008, why did they win? Because they played as a collective group. They didn't have the best players, but they played as a collective group. I think for the last 4 or 5 years that I've been watching them, they've played as individuals. And they haven't been able to get that collective playing together. Interestingly, I think there's a few things that might happen. I hear that Ben Stokes is going to open the batting. All the talk was that I believe over there that Jos Buttler was going to join him. I believe from a whisper or two over here that Jos Buttler's going to bat 4. Stokes is going to open. The captain himself, Sanju Samson's going to keep. So Jos Buttler will be in the outfield. So there's a few little changes there. I mean, Buttler, for me, is one of the best T20 batsmen in the world. He opens for England and does a tremendous job, averages over 50, but he's also such a good player in the middle of the innings. And one of the areas of concern for Rajasthan over the last few years has been that middle order hitting, of really trying to be dominant in those middle overs. And Butler's pretty good wherever he bats, but that is the whisper on the street in Cheshire, where I live, is that Buttler will bat 4 and Ben Stokes is going to open the batting.
Interesting. Is it? You've heard it from the Cheshire Cat himself. That may happen, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm happy about that, Joy, because if as a Rajasthan fan, I want to see Jos Buttler, who is like guaranteed bona fide, a card-carrying game changer, right? Yes, of course, he bats at 4 and he can change the game as well. But when he's batting at 1 or 2, he can guarantee change the game because he's got the time.
Yeah, I mean, I have to be honest with you. I was almost looking at it the other way around. That if you had someone to open, would I open with Buttler and put Stokes back in the middle order and have him stabilize? Or maybe perhaps they're thinking Buttler is a more accomplished batsman, as in can pace his innings better, so Buttler can more adjust to the conditions. Stokes can just go and give it a whack up front. That also means perhaps that they're sending in one Indian player, and the only player who seems to come to my head is Yashasvi Jaiswal to go and dash up front with them. Their big problem will, how do they use their Indian batsmen in that top 5? There's Sanju Samson, if he bats at 3, then who's opening and who's 4 and 5? I mean, with Buttler, who are the other 2 middle order batsmen?